Hey everyone, it's Brenda Stolyar, Mashable's tech reporter, and today we are going to unbox Apple's 8th generation iPad. We are going to unwrap it, see what's inside, and go through some specs. Apple also sent me the Apple Pencil and the smart keyboard since this iPad is compatible with both. So let's check it out. Let's unwrap this bad boy. So I have a 12.9-inch iPad Pro. That was the last one I used. So this is gonna be nice and small. Let's see what else is inside. We got, the standard Apple stuff. Okay, we have a charging brick and a charging cable, USB-C to Lightning. So actually it's the iPad Air that got switched to USB-C instead of Lightning. So the 8th gen still keeps that Lightning port, complete with the charging brick and cable. So let's get into this. Ooh, this is probably gonna look super satisfying if I do it correctly. That was the least aesthetically pleasing way to do that. So here we go. This is the 8th gen iPad. Camera on the back, FaceTime camera on the front, some pretty thick bezels. Let's power it on. While this is getting set up, let's go through the specs. We have a 10.2-inch Retina display here with some pretty thick bezels compared to the iPad Air that was recently announced alongside this one that's literally all screen. It's a little bit distracting, but it does come with Touch ID, which I personally really like over Face ID because your fingerprint's just always there. Doesn't need special lighting. Gonna set that up later. Okay. All right, we're in. Okay, cool, perfect, wonderful. Touch ID button at the bottom right here, which feels so weird. Again, I liked the Touch ID on the iPhone SE. I like it on the 8th gen iPad. It's not something that I find is it's outdated, but it works. Of course, it certainly is a trade-off as far as, having the all-screen display, but that's fine, especially because this 8th gen iPad isn't for everyone, which we will get to in a second. This is the gray, the space gray model. It also comes in silver and gold. The space gray is fine. Probably would have gone for the gold myself, but we can look past it. You have the headphone jack up top, which is nice that they kept the headphone jack in, a rarity. And we have the speakers at the bottom and the Lightning port. On the side, you have your volume rocker, and that is about it for what you'll find as far as those buttons go. Okay. Next, let's talk about the changes from the last generation model. That is particularly in the chipset. The 7th generation iPad featured an A10 Bionic processor. This one comes with an A12, which is a fairly significant upgrade given that that's the same chip that's powering the iPhone XS. So a bit of a jump as far as processing power goes in comparison to last year's model. It also means that with this A12 chip, this is going to last you a lot longer because it'll be included in iPadOS updates to come. As far as other specs go, there's really nothing different from its predecessor. It still has the 8-megapixel rear camera on the back and then a 1.2 megapixel front-facing FaceTime HD camera, as they call it. So really no changes there. The outside in general is just not different at all. So it's really on the inside, it's that chipset that you'd essentially be upgrading for. That is if you have either the last gen model or prior to that, and you know, you're obviously feeling like it's on its last legs, then it would be a good idea to upgrade. Otherwise, if your iPad is running just fine, there's really no reason why you should opt for this one. Just like the 7th gen version, it is compatible with Apple Pencil and the Smart Keyboard. But I do want to get into some things that you can do with it using iPad OS 14, specifically note-taking. So let me unbox this. Let's unbox the Apple Pencil. Take that out. So I would say that if you are in the market for a iPad, whether that is an upgrade or you are just looking for an affordable tablet, then you really can't go wrong with this one. It's not the most flashy, especially in comparison to the iPad Air and then also the iPad Pro, but this one just brings it back to the basics with more power, is really what it comes down to. Let's go into notes. So with the new iPad OS, there is this feature called Scribble. I don't even know if the Apple Pencil is connected. I don't think it is. There we go. Okay, so this is that Scribble feature that I was talking about. So you can handwrite anything you want and then it'll convert it into text. So here I am in the Notes app. Let's write a sentence. I'm using the 8th gen iPad. Okay, clearly, okay, maybe numbers are a little difficult. Oh, there we go. Maybe it's just my handwriting that sucks. Let's try that one again. I'm using the 8th gen iPad. Well, all right. I mean, this isn't a review, but you're seeing this in real time. Regardless, it's still nice to use maybe if you're, I don't know, just taking notes really super fast, because I know that even when I type, I misspell some words. So even if you are the type that likes to handwrite your notes, obviously it's not that spot on at the moment. I will continue to look into that to see if that's a real thing. But as far as most of the words go, oh, yep, see, that wasn't, yeah, well, it's clearly got some work to do, but you get the gist of it. So you can also delete words. My name is Brenda. Okay, so if you want to take a word out, you can just scribble it out and it's gone. So that's pretty cool. Okay, so another thing you can do is cross it out and then either copy, paste, look it up if you want to know the definition of it. Another thing that you can do is when you go into Safari, if you want to access a specific website, you no longer have to type it out. You can just type it. And then you end up on Mashable. My Wi-Fi is a little bit slow right now, but you can tell that it managed to pick up on that. Let's also open up the Smart Keyboard. Ow, fudgesicles. So again, to increase the productivity on this, it is also compatible with Apple's Smart Keyboard. So it's essentially as close to a laptop as you'll get with this basic iPad. So now we're gonna attach it here, close it, and then when we wanna open it, like so, we essentially clip it in, and there you go. Now that we have the keyboard set up, I can really use it like any laptop. So again, let's go into Mashable.com. And here we are. So yeah, there aren't any like flashy things about this 8th gen iPad. Apple just literally added a new processor and some new features with iPad OS and called it a day. But I would say that essentially this is for the new iPad user or somebody that just wants something basic within the Apple ecosystem. And as far as price and availability goes, the 8th gen iPad is currently on pre-order starting at $329 for the 32 gigabyte version. Then obviously if you want the 128 gigabytes, that's going to be an increase in price, and it will go officially on sale this Friday. Be sure to continue to check back on Mashable.com for all things tech related, including full reviews of some of the new products that Apple recently announced.